It's high school hockey night live again on 10 Band TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm MattGajtka. Welcome to another Hockey Tuesday presented by Mindful Brewing Company as Peters Township takes on Canon Mac in the latest edition of this Class AAA PIHL rink rivalry. It's the last game of the regular season for Canon Mac, and the Big Macs are not going to make the AAA playoffs as they are stuck in last place. And, well, let's just say it would take a whole lot to go their way in the last couple of weeks for them to make it. It's not impossible, but it is quite improbable at this moment. But for Peters Township, there's plenty ahead after these final 2 weeks of the regular season. This is their 19th game out of 20, and the Indians can take the solo lead in Class AAA with a point in any form tonight against Canon Mac. Peters Township with a win would put itself in the driver's seat to win yet another regular season championship and set itself up as the number one seed going into the Penguins Cup playoffs in March. The last time these two teams met was in early December. We had the broadcast here on 10 Band TV, and Peters Township prevailed in the Miners Cup game 7-1 against Canon Mac. Will Tomko had 2 goals and an assist. Ben Kovac had a goal and 2 helpers, and Ryder Mertens and Cole Newpaver each scored and also assisted on a goal. The senior netminder Nolan Hilbert made 14 saves for the win. As Peters Township was on an early season streak, they wobbled a bit at the middle of the year, but now here they are once again, as usual, right there at the top of the standings with a record of 14-3 and 1, the one being an overtime loss. So Peters Township has 29 points. They're tied with Seneca Valley in that regard, but Seneca Valley has only 1 game to play, whereas Peters Township still has 2. Tonight's tilt, and then next Tuesday's game, the regular season finale against Bethel Park. You see Peters Township dressed in their red jerseys. They are the away team, technically, tonight, so a little bit of a different look for those of you used to seeing them on the other bench. Canon Mac, you saw them decked out in those beautiful gold jerseys. Haven't seen them play in those either live or on a device screen, so looking forward to seeing a new look for Canon Mac, at least for this broadcast. They're kind of looking like the St. Louis Blues reverse retros this year. That's a pretty handsome get-up for head coach Matt Lyons, whose team has a record of 4-14-1. Last time out, they were up in Erie, in fact, as they fell 4-2 to Cathedral Prep. Cathedral Prep back in the playoffs this year. They've locked up a spot, and they defeated the Big Macs, doubling them up with a 3-spot early. The Big Macs came back, though, and made it a 3-2 game at the end of 2 periods. Anthony Petrillo and Dominic Tricana each scored power play goals, but they could not get over the hump and tie the game, and Cathedral Prep pulled away in the third. Last time out for Peters Township, it was a tight 2-1 win, a quality victory for sure at the Ice Castle, as they defeated Upper St. Clair, another team that is jumping back into contention this year. The Panthers looking sharp, especially lately, and the Panthers had a 1-0 lead after 1 period last week against the Indians on a Colin Ruffner shorthanded goal. And the Panthers have been deadly shorthanded this year. The Indians aren't the first team they've done that to, but PT had a rebound, a couple of even-strength goals scored in the second period of that game. Austin Malley, the senior, protected for his 11th, and Ryder Mertens, the captain, another senior, also scored his 11th goal. That one held up as the game winner, as there were no goals scored in the third. That gave Peters Township another victory. PT, I mentioned they had a long winning streak earlier in the season. They won 7 in a row from late October to early December. Now they've won 4 straight. And with Bethel Park coming in here next week, there's a better than average chance they could finish the season with 6 wins in a row and 8 of their last 9. Their only loss over that stretch, you saw it here on 10 Band TV, one of the games of the year, I would certainly say. Upper St. Clair won at 6-5 in overtime. So even in that defeat, Peters Township picked up a point. So they've actually gotten at least a point in 7 consecutive games, going 6-0-1 over that stretch. Players to watch, of course, Will Tomko has 21 goals. That's 4th best in Class AAA. Ben Kovac has 21 assists. For those of you who are fans of symmetry, that gives him the 3rd spot in the setup race, if you will, in Class AAA. PT's the highest scoring team in the league. They've also allowed the 2nd fewest goals on the season. Meanwhile, Canon Mac has scored the 2nd fewest, and they've allowed the 2nd most. So that's how they've gotten to this point. Canon Mac falling back this year And in fact, let me correct my earlier statement. They actually cannot make the playoffs, even with a win here tonight. That would still just put them in a tie for ninth. You have to be in the top 8 out of 11 teams to make it in Class AAA. As of right now, Baldwin has a 1-point lead on Bethel Park for that 8th and final playoff spot, which is likely to make next week's game. Mark that down on your calendars. Right here against Peters Township for Bethel Park. Maybe a make or break type of game. Tonight, though, is going to be more about pride on the Canon Mac side. And like I said, for Peters Township, trying to keep their noses ahead of Seneca Valley. They have a percentage points lead over Seneca Valley right now, but they're flat-footed in terms of cumulative points. 29 points apiece in the standings. And PT with an opportunity here with a game in hand to take advantage of that. Warm-ups are over. And like I said, Mindful Brewing Company presents tonight's broadcast, Week 20 of the PIHL on 10-Band TV. You can watch 10-Band TV on Roku and also Amazon Fire. So check out those avenues in addition to, yes, I see you, young man, waving to the camera from in front of the glass down there. Got me off track. You can also catch 10-Band TV on the internet. Old-fashioned, I know it sounds like it, but it's at 10band, TENBAND.TV. So there you see the Big Macs on the home bench down to our left, and Peters Township will be in the visitors bench for the one and only time this season. Rick Tingle back there, Cliff Bumford, both wearing the old school Tam O'Shanter caps. I don't recall Cliff wearing that in years past. Oh, actually, that's not Cliff. That is Chris Claxton. Excuse me. Cliff is over there. I was going to say, I'm used to Cliff in that red cap, the ball cap. He's got that perched upon his cranium as the puck is dropped, and we're playing hockey at Printscape Arena in South Point. I'm not sure I told you where the venue is. You know where it is. Just off of I-79. As a player is wiped out, that's Wesley Forrester. Took a hard check low from one of the Big Macs. So Canon Mac coming out strong here, throwing the body around, with PT trying to connect out through to center. Will Cox on the intercept. He's tied for the most points on Canon Mac with 14. The top point getter and goal getter for Peters Township is Will Tomko. 34 total points, 21 of those goals. Caputo relays it below the goal line. Played out toward the point, and Forrester has to backtrack for Peters Township. PT could also feasibly be tied in the standings by Central Catholic. They're in third place at 27 points. Central Catholic just has one game to play, though, as well. Newpaper on the chase. Runs into Laurie behind the net. Laurie's a big target, and he's protecting that puck with that long wingspan of his. Laurie coughed it up, though. And here's Mertens, the captain. The game winner last week against Upper St. Clair. Couldn't make a move. Now he fed it off Newpaper, trying to jam it in from a sharp angle. That shot was deflected. Mertens is on it, though. Fighting against Ethan Franzik in the corner. Franzik, an all-star. We saw him on our all-star broadcasts late last month. Mertens from behind the net. Faces up against Laurie. Now makes a pass beyond the reach of Tricana, but also beyond the reach of his D-man at the point, Hudson Phillips, the junior. Phillips playing his first varsity season, so a little bit of a disjointed start in this one. Neither team has been able to pump a shot on goal. This is swatted away from the front of the cage by Nolan Hilbert, who gets another start. I mentioned he beat Canon Mac the first time these two teams met in a 7-1 win for PT. Offside against Canon Mac. Delayed call is whistled down. So Hilbert with a record of 6-2, an .869 save percentage. A little lower than he would like, but a 2.49 goals against average and 1 shutout. 3 goalies have earned significant time for Peters Township this year. Hilbert, along with the junior Kyle Thomas, and the sophomore Ethan Williams, has made 3 appearances, all starts. But it's Hilbert's turn here as Lebalarte ran over a Big Mac. Back down to our left. Meanwhile, the play continues on to our right. Austin Corbel couldn't get it out. Played there. Batodian tried to swing it to the crease, but that's broken up. Austin Malley on the take-back. High lift off the glass. Stays in play. Out to knock this puck away from the side of his net was James Morgan, senior goalie. He has a 4-12-1 record with an .873 save percentage and a 3.99 goals against. Morgan, again, helping out his D, stopping that puck. David Chalet sent it far wing. That's intercepted by Peters Township. In front of Lebalarte. And Anthony Lebalarte nearly had his first goal as an Indian, but it went wide. Lebalarte, a big guy. power forward type. You can definitely see the potential there as Corbel gives it in the corner. Here's a guy who's fulfilled some potential at this level. Austin Malley prying it away. Trying to center, but Chalet got in the way of that one for Canon Mac. No score, 3.5 minutes in, or nearly. Kovac dropped back to the point. Deflected shot ends up off the glass. Still no shots on goal in this one for either side. Dylan Isbell has gotten some playing time lately, and he clears this one out for Canon Mac. Malley, smooth stick handling as the rangy forward tried to drop it off, but it's taken away by the designated home team in this game, the Big Macs. Scarilli left it back. Anthony Petrillo scored last game out. There's the first shot on goal, and his backhander denied by Hilbert, who was down on one knee. Now Hilbert puts his glove on top of the forechecking Petrillo as the Indians clear. These two teams are very familiar with each other, as you might imagine. The only two AAA teams to play out of this rink in South Point. Drop pass from Nathan D'Amico, broken up. And if the Big Macs hustle, they have a 3-on-2. To the middle, Tricana put it wide off the glass. It was a strong wrist shot, but he missed. Forced over to the near side, Aiden Freund. That's off a body and collected by Poon of Peters Township. Poon wearing number 70, Jeremy Poon, playing his 10th game of the year. He was out for a while. He took a smack there on the near side wall, but he kept the puck moving north. Porter Erb trying to pick this one loose. Instead, it'll be Carson O'Donohue, sophomore defenseman. A lot of youth on this Big Macs team. There's O'Donohue running right over Nathan D'Amico. So the Big Macs are at least showing they're not here to just play a shinny game. As I mentioned, their final chance to play as a team this season. They're not going to make the playoffs. And apparently the only team eliminated, as far as I could tell, out of the 11-team division. 8 teams make it. Scarilli on the clear. It bounces over the stick of Ringwald all the way back into Peters Township real estate. No icing. Ruled to have either been deflected or could have been played. I think that's indisputable as Vitodian knocked it ahead. Wrist shot. Glove save by Hilbert on Grayson Costa, the freshman, still looking for goal number 1 in his varsity career. 11:36 to go in the first period. My name is MattGajtka. Thank you for watching tonight's game on 10-Band TV. Our coverage of the PIHL regular season is coming to a close soon, thanks to all the sponsors who help make it possible to provide as many games as we've been able to put on the air this year. It's been a huge expansion over last season. Myself and Matt Popchak, also Chris Beddick chiming in from time to time. Here's the puck flagged down by the Big Macs. And here they come. Chalet left it back, and the Big Macs overskate. Odd man rush chance for Peters Township. Maeta dropped it off. Here's a one-time shot that I think hit his own man in front, Caputo, off the try from Caven Fisher. And a whistle and a stoppage in play for a reason unbeknownst to me. It might be, oh, there's a player injured. That's what it is. And the player appears to be nursing a lower body injury. It's David Chalet. He's grabbing that left knee. Not a great sign as the medical personnel walk out to attend to him. Again, it's the second meeting of 2 on the season between these two squads. There will be no playoff meeting this year. There's another player injured down to our left as well. 2 Big Macs are hurt. Zach Wilcox is being helped off. That's a big name in the Canon Mac lineup. Wow. 2 injuries at the same time. Chalet is still on the ice, far from the locker room, so it might not be possible to get him up on his feet and off the rink, or at least not as easily as it was for Wilcox. So Zach Wilcox to the locker room. He has piled up 14 points on the year, including a team high tying 7 assists, also 7 goals. And David Chalet, the junior defenseman, This is his 17th game. He's been a regular for this squad. And he is slowly ambling toward maybe the bench. I'm not sure if he's going to go to the room as well. Looks like Chalet is going to try to at least maintain his availability for the rest of this period. But he'll be sitting out at least a couple of shifts, you'd imagine. Face-off coming up in Peters Township attacking territory, as they had the puck when the whistle sounded. The officials let the scoring chance happen, and then they blew the play dead. Aiden Freund will face it off against Ryder Mertens, and we'll restart nearly 6 minutes into this first period. No goals on the board yet as Martin put it in front. Mertens! Oh, how'd that miss? That might have been off of the arm of the goaltender Morgan. He might have just missed the net completely. Martin tried to pass it again to the front. Camden Martin circling the goal. 15 points on the year, including 10 assists. Martin finds a man coming in from the point. A wrister didn't get through. Mertens is on that loose puck, though. He protects. Ryder Mertens, fourth-year varsity man. Trying to create some space here. Still working one-on-one. Lost his edge in a collision with Alex Gallardini. Martin tried to kick it down the wall. That didn't work. And flipped down and out by the Big Macs for an icing. 10:15 to go in the first. In the first game between these two teams, Peters Township scored the first three. Canon Mac struck back before the end of the first period, but the damage was done. And then the Indians added 2 more in the second and 2 more in the third. One of a few multi-goal nights for Will Tomko. I haven't seen Tomko out there yet, so he might not be available tonight. He will not win the goal-scoring race this year. He did last year as a freshman. Did number 28 for PT. Sent down the ice. Malley skating after it, but he's not going to be able to beat out the icing call. And, of course, to beat it out at this level, that means you have to catch up to it before it gets to the goal line. So modified lines with Tomko not available. Anthony Lebalarte, the senior, but first-year varsity player, gets the assignment here next to Kovac. Hammered off the wall, and out it goes. Lebalarte helps it along. Malley is out there as well. Malley goes to the front with Kovac commanding the puck. Austin Corbel shooting. Good save by Morgan, and the rebound poked just away from Kovac at the last second. Headman pass, Dominic Tricana shooting, and that's off the blocker of Hilbert. Tricana has 9 goals to lead this squad. He's come on big time lately. Behind the net, the Indians work it up. Around and out it goes. And another whistle at center ice. Eli Prado is making his second appearance of the season, I believe it is. He just handled that puck behind his net for Peters Township, sophomore defenseman. Yes, this is his second appearance of the year. So welcome back, Eli, to the mix. Grayson Costa tried to shoot. Vitodian centering pass. That clanks off a stick. Gallardini takes command. Nice little move, a pass into the middle, a turning shot, and Hilbert had to be sharp to make that save. And the rebound cleared by his teammates. But another icing call. Last time Prado played was December the 9th against North Allegheny. A 4-3 win. We had that game on 10 band up at the Barrel Ice Complex in Warrendale. Vitodian controls this draw for Canon Mac, but only briefly. As Kobe Ringwald sent it around the horn. And scooped up on the move by Malley. Try to snap a shot. That's off target. Halfway through this first period. And another puck out of play. This time over the Canon Mac bench. We play 17-minute periods during the PIHL, so the 8:30 mark is the halfway point. No power plays yet in this game, and that's just fine for Canon Mac because the Peters Township power play is tops in AAA at a 33% conversion rate, and the penalty kill is second at 88%. So if the Big Macs had their way, they'll probably just want to keep it at 5-on-5. Their penalty kill is 8th, their power play is 7th, so a little below average by the standards set by their division mates. MattGajtka's shot was blocked. Ringwald held it in and flushed it down the boards. Charlie Caputo, a couple of goals on the year. To Alexander, now out high, and a wrist shot by Alexander. Bounce off of Morgan, and over to the near wall. Lifted up and out by Canon Mac. Ringwald, a strong skating move. Kobe Ringwald fed it into an area, looking for Caputo to skate onto it. Scarilli tied up by Caputo, and there's your first power play coming up as Alexander touches it at the side of the net. Hooking is the call against Caputo as he brought down Adam Scarilli behind the Canon Mac net. With 7:30 left in the first, Canon Mac gets its first power play and tests itself against this quite prodigious Peters Township penalty killing unit. Faceoff will be in the offensive zone for Canon Mac. Tricana, a big right-handed centerman, tried to push it hard to the wall and create a loose puck situation, and did, but Peters Township won the battle, and it's pushed on by the point man. Martin chasing after it against Morgan, the goaltender, who fed it up the wall. And Petrillo buys time. 20 seconds into the power play. Pass goes off a Canon Mac stick. Scarilli, harassed by Mertens, has a turnover backhand. Score! Ryder Mertens, a shorthanded goal. He had 5 on the power play coming in. That's his first down a man. And he wants to drive the Zamboni. The captain makes it 1-0 Peters Township as he picked the pocket of the Big Macs. And he was in for a backhand deke and a delicious finish. There you see ambushed Adam Scarilli, and Morgan was down and out in the butterfly. Believe it or not, just the second shorthanded goal of the year for Peters Township. The other one scored by Ben Kovac, and it took them a while to even get to that one, I recall. Wasn't that long ago, just a few games ago. So Canon Mac got the first power play, and then they immediately got scored upon. But still, luckily for them, plenty of time on the advantage. Franzik on the relay over to Scarilli. He's pinned hard by Phillips, but the puck came loose to Tricana. Thought about shooting, now he'll pass it back to Franzik. Redirected on the way by Tricana, it's in! Canon Mac's tied it up. Tricana was celebrating, but I think it might have been Petrillo who got the last touch on it, right at the lip of the crease. And with 6:25 to go in the first, the Big Macs have an answer on that very same power play. There you see Franzik taking a shot. So an answer 40 seconds later, or whereabouts, for Canon Mac. A PPG on top of the SHG. And I'll wait for the announcement to give you who actually got that goal, but it's Kovac. He's not going to wait for anything. Kovac wristing, that's off a leg. Back out to the line, Corbel, bounding it down the window. From the corner, Malley on a backhand. Fed it up to Corbel and to Malley. Has a look. This almost looks like a power play for Peters Township. They're working around to the outside beautifully. But Canon Mac protecting the house well. No scoring chances yet on this shift. Corbel sweeps it. Levelarte let it go through. Kovac setting up shop. The top assist man on the Indians. To Malley, back to Kovac. They wanted to work a give and go, but the Big Macs wouldn't have it. scooped and not cleared by O'Donoghue. Kept in. It's behind the Canon Mac goal with 5:20 left in the first. Hammered off the far side glass. And down it goes for an icing call. I think Tricana might get credit for that goal. Now they're giving it to Petrillo, actually. Looking at the live box on PIHLhockey.com. Tricana gets a point nonetheless. Now he's got 15 to lead the team. Dominic Tricana, senior number 86. You'll be seeing a lot of him tonight, I'm sure. To the middle, Mertens on the relay looking for Newpaver, but Newpaver couldn't control, and Morgan spotted that loose puck. It's not often you see a shorty and a power play goal on the same penalty, but we just saw it there. Ringwall confronted there in neutral ice by Petrillo, the goal scorer. So that's his 9th. He's tied Tricana for the team lead. Petrillo hammers it off the wood. Back to retrieve Forrester. Around to the far wing. Martin on the give to the charging Mertens. He's wedged off the puck. Here's Newpaver out high, but it drifts into the neutral zone. He couldn't keep it in. And this is a whistle and an offside as the halting nature of this first period continues. Second to last game of the season for Peters Township. They still have a chance to finish with 16 wins out of 20 games if they take the last 2. This is Tricana. Primary assist on Canon Mac's goal. He's stapled there by Forrester. The puck's free to Erb. Check from behind, but probably that was Poon actually hit by Zanola, but not too violently. Play allowed to continue on. Tipped ahead, Erb. Couldn't get it by the Canon Mac defense. And Franzik spins it against the grain. Over on near side, the pass up the far wing. Redirected in by Tricana. That was D'Amico with a little spin move at center ice. D'Amico, Poon, and Erb. The forward line right out there for Peters Township. D'Amico shovels it in deep. James Morgan on the handle. Morgan, a fairly active goaltender. And I do have confirmation from our producer and director, Todd Kazarowski, that Will Tomko is out tonight. The top point man not available for Peters Township as they try to step ahead of the pack in Class AAA. And they hope for good. With just 2 games to go, counting this one. Alexander belted down to his knees, but he still maintained possession and helped on the build-up for Peters Township. Caputo on a lead pass, trying to find Maeda. That was deflected away and off the rink. It'll be an offensive zone draw for Peters Township with just over 3 minutes to go in the first. Shots are 5 apiece. The goaltenders aren't working terribly hard so far. Hilbert for Peters Township and Morgan for Canon Mac. The Indians chased Morgan in that Miners' Cup win earlier this year. A shot right into Morgan's belly pad, and he handles it. After the clean face-off win, we'll do it again from that same dot. Alexander against Vitodian. Maeda in the shooting hole again. And Alexander is booted out. So Luka Maeda returning recently from injury. Well, maybe not even recently anymore. It depends on your perspective of the passage of time. A few games ago he came back. Vitodian high wrist shot. That's parried away by Hilbert with the blocker hand. Smooth maneuvering by Fisher. Hooks up with Caputo through the neutral zone. His high toss off the back of the net. And Charlie Caputo's on that one first. Reversed it to Maeda. He's got Caputo sliding through the slot, but he couldn't make the pass. And Isbell steps to and snaps ahead beyond the reach of Hilbert with 2.5 to go in the first. Hudson Phillips on the far side pass, and the Indians do get it out. Caputo redirects it further into this near corner. Gallardini under pressure from Alexander. O'Donoghue looking to one-hand that out of trouble. Couldn't do it. Drew Alexander right back on this puck. But stripped away by O'Donoghue, and here he comes. Skating well through the center. It's onside just barely, but the deflected shot ends up over the high glass and into the protective netting. 1:56 left in the first period. Ryder Mertens scored an unassisted, shorthanded goal to open the goal scoring today, but then Canon Mac and Anthony Petrillo finished off a rebound in behind goaltender Nolan Hilbert just 40 seconds later. Snapshot by Malley, that was a good one, but gloved and held with no rebound by Morgan. Canon Mac's going to make a line change. Meanwhile, Peters Township keeps the same 5 out there. Top line, if you will, tonight. Kovac between Levelarte and Malley. Malley trying to drag this along with his skate. Laurie banging into Kovac. The puck pops loose out to the point. Wrist shot goes over the top of the net. On the drive by Levelarte. Or pardon me, that was Prado. Eli Prado, number 27. Second time he's got me by surprise. Sorry, Eli. There's Levelarte deflecting it ahead. Getting down close to a minute to go in the period. Franzik. Softly off the wall and right back to him. Playing catch with Scarilli. And he does flip it past Levelarte, but right back into the clutches of the Tribe in the neutral zone. Corbel wristed it ahead, and is that icing? I think it might be. Thought he was ahead of the red line. Maybe not. There's Cole Newpaper you see on your screen. The freshman has 9 points, including 5 goals. He's the only freshman to garner any kind of significant playing time this year for Rick Tingle. And as usual, it is well-deserved if a freshman does make this Peters Township squad. Usually a team laden with seniors year in and year out. Ringwald on the intercept. Getting down to a half-minute left. Ringwald. And it's the first-year varsity man, Wesley Forrester. Spinning, but coughed it up in the neutral zone to Isbell, but he gave it away himself. Newpaper's on it. He's got Mertens going to the goal, but his saucer pass broken up by Scarilli. 20 seconds left. Martin pulling it to himself behind the net. Now he centered it, and the stick was lifted at the last second. Forrester shooting. Saved by Morgan. Newpaper's on it with 10 seconds left in the period. To the point. Another shot by Forrester. This one drifts wide into the near corner. Back out high. Ringwald lining it up, and it's blocked in front as time expires on period number 1. Competitive action. The crowd loves it here at South Point. Hope you're enjoying it too on 10 Band TV. Back in just a couple of minutes for the second period as PIHL Hockey Night Live rolls on in Week 20, presented by Mindful Brewing Company. It's High School Hockey Night Live from Printscape Arena in South Point, Pennsylvania. I'm MattGajtka, and you're watching on 10 Band TV. Find us on Amazon Fire and Roku, as well as on the World Wide Web. 17 minutes loaded on the second period clock. Peters Township and Canon Mac tied at 1. Shots on goal in the first period, 8 for Peters Township, 6 for Canon Mac. Only 1 penalty, and, well, the penalty led to some serious events there, as we saw the shorthanded goal from Ryder Mertens of Peters Township, and then Canon Mac Scoring on the power play just 40 seconds later, Petrillo from Tricana and Franzik. The puck is dropped, and we are on our way in Chapter 2 of tonight's story. Play down to our right as Peters Township attacks that goal. Fisher couldn't handle it cleanly at the line. That's offside as he yanked it right back into the attacking zone before pulling it back out. Good to see Matt Popchak back on the call for a couple of games last night. We're stuck with the other Matt this evening. Yours truly. This is whistled into the Canon Mac zone. Morgan tapped it over to this near side, but that's where the Indians come up the works. It's Mertens coming off the wall. Canon Mac really likes to sag back toward its net, which allows Peters Township to possess the puck around the outside. The idea is just don't give up anything between those circles. New paper though, wristing, and that's blocked, and that hurts the defenseman, and Canon Mac cannot clear. At least for now. Now they do. Force it out through, and up into the attacking zone. Canon Mac in the gold with the white helmets and the blue trim, blue numerals. Peters Township in its traveling reds at Printscape. For one of the few times you'll see them wear this kit in this building, just because they are the road team, technically, tonight. This is the one game a year when they're the road team here. Kovac had his pocket picked beautifully by Scarilli. And a headman pass is redirected up in behind the Peters Township goal. Petrillo, the goal scorer, trying to pin his man. He did in Fisher, but the puck was still up for grabs. And here comes Peters Township. Kovac on a lead pass. Down the left wing toward the front of the net. And Morgan had to make a save there on Letalarte's chance. Letalarte trying for goal number 1 in his first and only varsity season. Fisher on the hoist on his backhand. Got up below the goal line where Kovac is on it now. Malley left it behind himself for Kovac. He pulls away from Scarilli and centers strongly. Loose puck score! I think it's Letalarte who got the goal. Malley pointed to him. If so, that is his first varsity tally. 2-1 Peters Township. An even strength goal. Early stages, second period. Good eye, sniper. We get a look at that replay. Hard to tell, one of those sleight of hand type goals. And give a huge tip of the cap to Kovac for taking that away from the much larger Scarilli. It was Letalarte. He banked it in off the post, maybe off of Franzik's skate. Congrats. Someone grabbed that puck. It might still be that same puck. Letalarte scores from Kovac. And Peters Township has the lead again. Let's see if it lasts longer than the first time. That was only about a 40-second lead back in the first period. Corbel, the defenseman, getting up into the action here. Wanted to leave it back for Maeta. Could not do it. Here is Corbel. Behind the back for Maeta. Nope, not going to work. Isbell on this, and he cleared it beyond Alexander, and out it goes. Canon Mac on the counter. Well, they tried to get there, but Corbel, Austin Corbel, good skating to beat Vitodi into that biscuit. And it's Alexander in over the line. Wristing low, pad save by Morgan. Dylan Isbell takes it here, and he simply clears up the center of the ice. Finding some room. Corbel on the shoot-in. O'Donohue. Got our score bug back on the top of the screen. Thanks again to Todd Kazarowski and crew for keeping this one on the air, presenting tonight's broadcast. Isbell between the circles, and his shot was deflected away. More accurately, the inner edge of the left circle, but a prime scoring chance for Dylan Isbell, who has a goal on the year. In just 6 games played as a freshman. One of 6 freshman skaters getting significant playing time for Canon Mac this year. But they trail Peters Township 2-1 right now. On a goal by Anthony Letalarte, his first as a varsity member of the Tribe. There's Hilbert reaching out with a pad to keep that puck out. Still free in the Peters Township zone. Now Hilbert uses the big goal stick to swat it away to the corner. Freund overtaken though. Malley deflects it ahead. Driven off a leg. Here comes a breakaway chance for Kovac. He's stopped by Morgan. James Morgan keeps it 2-1. Kovac went for the shot. In his bid for goal number 13 on the year, he was denied. Scully on goal with that one. Freund runs over Hilbert, and the Indians don't like that. Forrester cleans out Freund from the doorstep. And Hilbert, in fact, skated over to get a couple of words in, I think. It appeared to be somewhat accidental, just on first glance. Well, the face-off's going to come all the way back into Canon Mac real estate. And it is a penalty. A penalty against the Big Macs will send Peters Township to the power play for the first time. Slap shot by Forrester, redirected in front by Malley, and now cleared away to the side wall. I don't think that got through to Morgan, in fact. We've got a shorthanded goal, a power play goal, and an even strength goal in this game. Now PT going to work with its top-ranked power play. 33% on the year. Kovac faked the pass. Now we got it back to Forrester. Rang it off the pipe and off of the stick of Morgan first, I think. Rebound swatted away over to the far side half wall. Mertens turning, finding a man. That's Kovac. Couldn't stick handle away from pressure. And the Big Macs are on it here. They're going to be able to usher the puck out to safety and try to go on the attack. Batodian offside. He couldn't handle that pass cleanly. Just inside the blue line. The goal for Peters Township earlier in this period, 2:10 in. Metalarte from Kovac and Malley. Malley gets .21 on the year. Kovac gets .34. So Freund was called for cross-checking. That was the penalty. I figured it had to have been him. Did not hear the PA announcement. So sorry for the delay there. I did know it was a power play. I can count 4 skaters out there in gold. Good skating from Ringwald again. Toby Ringwald circles, center shot, redirected into the corner. It was partially blocked in front of the chance from Austin Malley. Where's the A on his chest for alternate captain? Kovac, the familiar spot, took the shot, maybe a shot pass. Now Malley picks up the garbage, spit it out in front, and cleared off the near side boards and out by Zanola and the Big Macs. 38 seconds to go on the power play. Getting close to the midway point of this game. Peters Township with its second lead of this game. Ryder Mertens, 5 power play goals on the year to lead this squad. Mertens has already scored in this game. Now fed it out to the point. Ringwald settling it down. Sharp angle there for Kovac, and he tried to roof it short side, but he missed. Forrester pins his body to the wall to keep it in. Wesley Forrester guided it down the wood. Kovac behind the net. Newpaver. Final seconds of the power play, and it's over. Peters Township is 0 for 1. Canon Mac successfully gets the kill to keep this score where it is. Zanola stripped by Alexander. 5 on 5 now. Alexander circles out high. Ringwald couldn't take the pass between his skates. Alexander lassos it and filters it deep again. Martin teaming up there with Alexander. Or pardon me, that's Newpaver actually. Big number 96 makes the pass out to Phillips, who hammers it deep. Under 10 to go in the second. Alexander to the far wing. Newpaver to Phillips. Phillips shooting. And redirected over to the far side. Newpaver again. With Martin. One of the Big Macs went down. Play allowed to continue on. Martin fights through a hook. Camden Martin hit hard by Scarilli. Gives him an extra elbow just for good measure. Zanola running into Newpaver, working him over. Cole Newpaver picks it out of the pack. New paper, backhand pass, right by everybody, and cleared at long last by Canon Mac. Had to feel like an eternity they spent in their own zone. PT unable to polish off that third goal. But the night is young as Herb reaches out. Costa on the disc for Canon Mac. Up ahead off the O'Donoghue feed. Fisher first on it. He gets battered by Vatodian for his efforts. Forrester passed it off the skate of Ben Vatodian. Vatodian has 10 points on the year. It is 5th most on the squad. Canon Mac has 5 double-digit point getters on the season. Peters Township has 6, but the difference is 5 of them have at least 20 points now. Laurie on the giveaway to Fisher. The leading scorer on the Big Macs, Tricana, has 15 points. That would put him 6th, tied for 6th on Peters Township with Camden Martin. PT is scoring nearly 5 goals per game. Canon Mac just 2.5. Laurie lowers the shoulder. Good pass right to the front. Too much traffic though for Vatodi, and he couldn't turn it over for a forehand shot. And diving out of his crease to get the whistle was Nolan Hilbert, last year's Penguins Cup and state championship goaltender for Peters Township. Under 8 to play in the second. We'll take an extended intermission after 2 periods for the Zambonis to come out. They'll cut and resurface the ice. The battle is on. One of the first extended puck scrums we've seen in this game. By the way, Zach Wilcox has not returned for Canon Mac. I don't remember David Chalet either, so Canon Mac playing a couple of bodies short right now. One at forward, one on D, and Wilcox's absence especially is a tough one. One of their go-to guys, you can pardon the cliche, on the attack, and really overall. Icing the call against Peters Township. 7:11 to go. There's that huge new banner for UPMC down to our right. Oops, gave him a free ad. Sorry about that. Just trying to figure out what exactly is that giant looming over the ice as it came into view. Oh, there he is. No word on if that's a real doctor. Back to the line, wrister, and Hilbert has that one easily as it knuckled end over end. We'll do it again from that dot. Hey, speaking of ads, if you want to be part of the 10-band TV presentation, we're not going away after this season. I can tell you that much. Season-long sponsorships as well as week sponsorships are available. Mindful Brewing is our Week 20 sponsor, pardon me. Bounce out the center, trouble for Canon Mac, Kovac, Maui, score! The silky hands of Austin Maui roof that puck into the net beyond the reach of James Morgan, and Kovac gets another primary helper. Ben Kovac has 23 assists on the year, and Austin Maui has goal number 12 and his second point of the night. Gallardini had to pick his poison. He went to Kovac, and there wasn't really a lot on that shot from Maui, but like I said, deft maneuvering with those mitts to lift it quickly over Morgan's glove. We got a 3-1 lead for Peters Township now. That's hockey right there. Something from nothing. As Martin pulls up for a wrister that was blocked to the corner. Hockey's a game of swarming, puck pursuit. Vatodian with a shot, and that's a blocker save away from danger by Hilbert. His best save of the night. New paper, backhand score! 2 quick ones for PT. They got a 4-1 lead. And it's Camden Martin to Cole Newpaver. Right out in front. And he turned it to the backhand and stuffed it in. Another rush goal for Peters Township. 2 in less than a minute. And Morgan, well, he got stuck in no man's land. He wanted to come up for the poke check. He realized he wasn't going to be able to get there in time, and he just stuck out that right leg. But Newpaver beat him cleanly. 3 goals here in this second period for PT to break the game open, at least for now. Peters Township has now outscored Canon Mac on the year 11-2. Including that Miners Cup win earlier this season in blowout fashion. Kovac was ripped down to the ice. No penalty called. Laurie, fine step-in move to get away from Kovac. Tricana lobs one in on Hilbert, who has, again, no issue. Give Lebalarte another point. He picks up a secondary assist on the Austin Malley goal. With 6:44 to go, and then just 29 seconds later, Newpaver from Martin as Hilbert sticks this one to the corner, and Wesley Forrester gets an assist. His 4th point of the season. PT's got 3 in a row here, looking for a 4th. And they've used their speed and their skill to get the edge here in this second frame. Lebalarte overskated. It was a good pass to him in the circle, but he couldn't drag it with him. 2-point night for Lebalarte, 2-point night for Malley, 2-point night for Kovac. Also Mertens with a goal. Back in the first, shorthanded. Under 5 to go in the second. PT has taken command here on PIHL High School Hockey Night. Thank you for watching. Grayson Costa on the shoot-in. Didn't create much, but here's Scarilli pounding one toward goal. Deflected into the corner. Mertens on the regather. Just trusting those legs to get him out of trouble. And, well, they did. Here's Mertens now into the attack zone. Bashed down on a strong hit by Drew Grasser, number 64. He's seen some playing time lately as well for Canon Mac. Sharp angle chance, and patted out of there by Morgan all the way out to center ice. PT regroups. Corbel up off of Newpaver's blade. Here's Mertens trying to get by Scarilli, who went down, and what's the call here? Morgan was down on one knee, and this looks like a penalty. Hooking. If only we had the ref mic'd up. I guess that's something we can work on for next year. Aiden Freund has taken both penalties for a Canon Mac. First, we got to get the refs to agree to that. First one was cross-checking. This one's hooking. With 3:46 to go before the intermission. A second power play for Peters Township. Already up by 3. Ringwald shot and gloved and kept by Morgan. Kobe Ringwald. Ringwald, a family name that has a couple of entries in the Peters Township record books. So does Alexander, for that matter. So does Poon. I've been doing this for long enough that I've called multiple sets of brothers. Of course, we had the Wilbert quadruplets all on the ice at the same time in a couple of games. That was fun. Hey, as long as they all wear different numbers, I don't care. What they look like does not matter in this job. Malley, harassed by Tricana. Kovac hit by Tricana. Now Malley tees it up, and he's stopped by Morgan. Maybe not the guy you want to give that shot to if you're Canon Mac, but a lot of times in the power play, you just try to funnel players to certain spots. Hilbert forced to pin this puck down and get a face-off in his own end. If he had his druthers, he wouldn't have done that, but he was under some duress. I've been told that the Wilberts, mom and dad, are keeping score tonight. That's amazing. Good folks. Had a great time hanging out with them for, well, I think it was 4 years. They had at least one of their quadruplets in the lineup. And like I said, it ended up being all four by senior year. Katie Wilbert joined the fray as a 12th grader. I had to call one of her goals, in fact, from both of her brothers who were also skaters. It was what, Alex was the goalie? Anyway, Forrester shooting. This trip down memory lane brought to you by your company name here. Forrester goes to the far side. Ringwall. Digging around Zanola. Try to go to Mertens on the inner edge of the right circle. That was tipped. Mertens takes it back, though, and shoots. Never got through. Hit his own man, Newpaver, in the slot. Down to the final 10 seconds of this power play. There's one nitpick here for Peters Township. They haven't gotten the man advantage going. They've had two opportunities, and they haven't really come that close on them. They've been good on the counterattack, though. Here's another chance for that. Ringwall dropped it off. Newpaver on his backhand. Sent it toward goal. Morgan coughed it up. Oh, and Martin could not sweep it in as he was tripped up in front of the net. No penalty. Scarilli harassed and eventually had the puck stripped away by Newpaver. Canon Mac keeps it in to the far wing. Alex Gallardini battling there with Caven Fisher, number 63. Getting close to a minute to go in the second period. A lot more flow in the second period. Not as many stoppages. Martin left the puck behind as it was poked off his blade. Here's Fisher. Up and out with that one. Angled dish right back to Peters Township. Phillips. Far wing pass. Nobody home. Icing call on the missed headman. One more game after this one for Peters Township, and if they get this win, they'll be 2 points up on Seneca Valley. And Seneca Valley would have to then win their final game to force Peters Township to get a point from its final game next Tuesday against Bethel Park. Got it? That's all talking about the regular season AAA championship and the #1 seed in the upcoming Penguins Cup tournament. Toward the front with that wrister. Late in the period, Canon Mac has funneled some pucks toward goal. Just not a lot of chances, though, in this frame. Scarilli down the boards with this one. Franzik just right toward the front, looking to create some chaos, and did. Thomas Laurie pinches in, but we're down to 15 seconds to go in the period. Tricana turning this way and that. He's wedged off the puck by Poon, but Laurie takes it right back to the middle. Tricana, and a good stick from Eli Prado to deflect that away as time runs out before the Big Macs can get a shot on goal against Nolan Hilbert. 3 goals in the period, all of them scored by Peters Township. Levelarte his first as an Indian. Also, Malley, his 12th of the season, and Newpaver, his 6th. We'll go to the third with PT comfortably ahead of Canon Mac on PIHL Hockey Night Live on 10 Band TV. Stay with us.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right outside of my front door. I can't imagine anywhere on earth I'd rather be. Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right outside of my front door. I can't imagine anywhere on earth I'd rather be.
Look at him, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, climbing his way through the corporate rat race. We've all been there, focused on that next raise, promotion, chocolate bar. Keeping an eye on your health can be exhausting. Weight Loss Direct is a personalized wellness and weight loss program. We utilize an AI algorithm to determine your specific foods and match you with a real-life coach and an easy-to-follow meal plan so you could stay on track to success and health. Check out weightlossdirect.com to learn more.
All across the United States, each state has what's called an immunization information system. Immunization information systems, or IIS, are confidential, population-based, computerized databases that record all immunization doses administered by participating providers to persons residing within a given geopolitical area. In the United States, every vaccination registry is a bit different, which can become daunting and confusing. Enter PubHub. PubHub solves this issue by giving its providers the ability to connect and communicate to the state registry with one connection and one data format. For example, if a patient has received the COVID-19 vaccine, PubHub allows the provider to see if the patient has already received the vaccine, keeping everything safe and organized for everyone.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right outside of my front door. I can't imagine anywhere on earth I'd rather be.
Look at him, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, climbing his way through the corporate rat race. We've all been there, focused on that next raise, promotion, chocolate bar. Keeping an eye on your health can be exhausting. Weight Loss Direct is a personalized wellness and weight loss program. We utilize an AI algorithm to determine your specific foods and match you with a real-life coach and an easy-to-follow meal plan so you could stay on track to success and health. Check out weightlossdirect.com to learn more.
All across the United States, each state has what's called an immunization information system. Immunization information systems, or IIS, are confidential, population-based, computerized databases that record all immunization doses administered by participating providers to persons residing within a given geopolitical area. In the United States, every vaccination registry is a bit different, which can become daunting and confusing. Enter PubHub. PubHub solves this issue by giving its providers the ability to connect and communicate to the state registry with one connection and one data format. For example, if a patient has received the COVID-19 vaccine, PubHub allows the provider to see if the patient has already received the vaccine, keeping everything safe and organized for everyone.
Well, I got sunshine. If I could catch it in a bottle, I would save it for a rainy day. Yeah. American boy, small hometown, little slice of heaven everywhere I look around. Got a baseball field, a swimming pool, a fishing hole and more. Got everything I need and it's right outside of my front door. I can't imagine anywhere on earth I'd rather be.
Final period of play coming up. Final period of regulation, that is. That's the way that Canon Mac would like to look at it, as the Big Macs trail the Indians of Peters Township 4-1. Through 2 on this Tuesday night, PIHL Hockey Night Live. Just the one game this evening for us. My name is MattGajtka. There you see my name on the bottom of the screen. Yeah, good luck spelling that for memory. A lot easier to say than it is to write. I always say it that way. Thanks to Todd Kazarowski and crew for putting this game on the air. On the web, of course, 10band.tv and Amazon Fire TV and Roku. Those are options where you can find it. Peters Township one decent period away from taking the solo lead by a couple of points in the Class AAA standings. They're currently tied with Seneca Valley, but Seneca Valley only has one game left to play. Peters Township has this game and then one more next week against Bethel Park. And the Blackhawks will be playing for their playoff future next week. So that one does not figure to be easy, even though the separation between the two in the standings is still rather large. This one is first versus last in AAA, but Canon Mac came out physical. They tied the game on a quick response to an early Peters Township goal, but a 3-goal second period has PT firmly in command here. As we start the third, 30 seconds in, and a turnover. Caputo to the far side, backhand by MattGajtka. Gobbled up by Morgan. James Morgan continues to put in a workmanlike effort. Morgan has started all but 2 games this year for Canon Mac, and there you see him here, squaring up to the shot from MattGajtka. MattGajtka now has played 11 games. He has 4 goals and an assist. Missed several in the middle of the year. MattGajtka, who was huge in the playoffs last year, getting back into form. Still just a sophomore. And it's difficult to make these Peters Township teams as underclassmen, as it is right now. Just 5 on this squad. Troy Jones not playing tonight, the power forward. 6 goals and 10 points. I mentioned MattGajtka. Also Will Tomko, of course, leading point scorer for Peters Township, as this is swept away from the front of the net by Morgan. Ringwald fed it down the wall looking for Newpaver. Now Merton steps up. Hold it past Franzik. Martin, backhand right to the front. Rattles around. Nearly rattled home before it's cleared off the line, nearly. Released out of the blue paint. Mertens tossed to the far side. Slap shot. That's stopped by Morgan on the opportunity from Forrester. Anyway, the underclassmen on this team, Caven Fisher, sophomore defenseman, Will Tomko, of course, MattGajtka, both sophomores, Troy Jones, a sophomore, and the freshman, Cole Newpaver, who scored the most recent goal in this game to make it 4-1. Tomko, or pardon me, Kovac rather, Tomko not available tonight. Levelarte, he's gotten his first goal and an assist in this game as well. Malley shooting off the outside of the goal. The net jumped. I thought for a moment that Malley had buried another one. Fisher partially fanned on that pass, so Dylan Isbell has time to get to it and flip it ahead. Vitodian couldn't chip it by Phillips with possession. Grayson Costa does a pirouette to try to keep this at his feet, and he does. Isbell to Costa. Yanked it away from Fisher in the corner. Nearly 3 minutes into this period. The Indians are away on 2-on-1. Malley, he's got Kovac in the middle. Got it to him. Kovac looking, shooting. Morgan made the save. Rebound. And where's the puck? It's still available. Still loose. Levelarte had a golden chance to shovel that one in, but could not. And play stopped as the net is dislodged behind James Morgan, the goaltender. The shots on goal were 19-12 in favor of PT through 2 periods. Now 20-12. Malley down the wall with that one, trying to catch up to it himself. Franzik had his leg swept out from underneath him. It still made the play up the wall, but a stick lift by Newpaver has the puck loose to Caputo. Actually, that was Kovac who lifted the stick. Ben Kovac, elusive to the outside, and now the feed out to Phillips. Shooting, tipped into the corner. Kovac adding 2 more points to his total. He's now in 4th place on the AAA scoring race on the leaderboard with 35 total points. Scarilli rips it loose, up to Aiden Freund, head man, away from Petrillo, wide of the goal. No icing, Petrillo will shoot on the one-timer, coming right off the wall with that, but Hilbert with a routine save. This is icing against Peters Township. PT's 0 for 2 on the power play and 0 for 1 on the penalty kill, but they do have a shorthanded goal, so I guess consider them even in a way. Their special teams continue to be elite, although they take a slight hit tonight. Hilbert made that stop on the point shot. Prado got run into by Zanola, who's down on his backside right now. Still makes the play. Well done. Little toss toward the middle and a slap shot from the outside. That stopped in front of the net. Never got through to Hilbert. Vitodian going to the goal. Tricana. Dominic Tricana stopped by Hilbert. And no further play. Dom Tricana leads this squad in a lot of categories now. 15 points, 9 goals. Both tops on the team. He has 4 power play goals, 2 shorthanded goals. This is his final varsity game. Hilbert had that one squeak under his pad for a second, but then he put that pad right back down on the ice to deny Carter Zanola and company. Other players playing their final game for Canon Mac. Thomas Laurie, Anthony Petrillo, who scored in tonight's game. Tricana, stopped by Hilbert, loose puck, skids away to the wall. Tricana, as the Big Macs come on here, a backhand for him, and a score! Zanola puts in the rebound, and it's 4-2. Still plenty of time left to make this one interesting, or more interesting, for Canon Mac. Carter Zanola, another senior, playing his final game in the blue and gold. Gold and blue, more appropriately, tonight. Zanola just kept hacking away. Tricana gets another assist. Another primary assist. And this one's not over. Zanola's first of the season. Not sure about his career. To the front of the net. Laurie ushers it away from the front. And Isbell clears on his backhand. Remember, Canon Mac is without a couple of skaters as well. Both injured on the same shift, oddly enough. Back in the first period, Zach Wilcox, the 7-goal man, and also David Chalet, junior defenseman, making it more painful, pardon the pun, for Wilcox. This is his last game at this level. Same for Ethan Franzik, Adam Scarilli, and Aiden Freund, and James Morgan, the goaltender. So it's a send-off for the Big Macs. You know they're going to have something left in the tank here. It's not going to be easy for Peters Township to put them away. And PT not only has one more game in the regular season, but they have at least another game in the postseason. And they're trying to become the #1 seed yet again. Martin, good stick handling to pop that one loose over to Newpaver. He swerves out of the corner on the dish, ring wall, shooting, deflected wide. Back on it, Martin. He hit the outside of the goal with that wrister. Newpaver ran into Laurie. Drew Grasser joining the party. Pass is too far for him to reach, though, but the Big Mac's clear nonetheless. Down the ice it goes, and Costa misfired on that pass, looking for Drew Grasser. That is another icing. Peters Township, of course, just celebrated senior recognition a couple of weeks ago. It was before an actual game this time. In previous years, they'd done it on a Sunday, and they'd had, for instance, usually Meadville down to play a non-league game. Kovac misses on that shot after the offensive zone face-off win. Kovac over to Levalarte, getting plenty of ice time here on the top line. Kovac trying to shoot. I shouldn't say top line, especially at this level, but usually the Kovac line has been the top line this year. Of course, you've got Ryder Mertens. You say, hey, what about my line? So, getting a little faux pas from yours truly. As Gallardini flips it into the attacking zone, but here's Phillips. So in a 4-2 game, now a breakaway chance. Kovac scores! Makes it 5-2. And this time it's PT with a quick response. Good eye, sniper. Ben Kovac's got his 13th of the season. And Anthony Levalarte picks up his 3rd point with that pinpoint pass. And that might have done it. The Indians systematically worked that puck up the ice and to Kovac, who was behind the defense. And he beat Morgan with a wrist shot. Wristed on net by Vitodian and deflected up into the screen. So with 10 minutes to go, Canon Mac's got a 3-goal mountain to climb yet again. Fisher flipped it off of a body. Kevin Fisher now steps up and powers it to the line, but no further. Held in, now out of the corner, the Big Macs operate. Down to business, there's Porter Erb for Peters Township, number 10 in red and white. And a hand pass called. Coming out of that pack. Otherwise, would have been a dangerous opportunity for Isbell. Looking to swing it in on his forehand. One more game for me on the call. Next week, it'll be Bethel Park invading Printscape Arena. And by the looks of it, I think Bethel Park's going to need to get a result there to lock up a playoff spot. Other results, of course, will have an impact. As of right now, Bethel Park is 1 point behind Baldwin. And Baldwin and Bethel Park both play later this week, too. So a lot to figure out. Hilbert coming out of his crease to make a save there on Isbell. I think he made a save. Caputo is away. Drag moving a shot, weakened toward goal. Morgan made the stick save. Costa dishes it. Too hard for Vitodian to handle. And icing back the other way against Peters Township. It's a 5-2 game. A goal for either side in this third. Peters Township out shooting Canon Mac 24-19. Hudson Phillips picks up a secondary assist on that goal. That's just his 2nd point of the year. The Kovac goal I'm talking about. And Tricana and Vitodian get helpers on Zanola's tally, as that puck was deflected out of play by Hilbert. Chopped along by Ryder Mertens, who got this whole party started back in the first with a shorthanded goal on a steal. His backhand was a beaut. Canon Mac tied it quickly after that on that same power play, but Peters Township's 3-goal second period is looking like the difference, at least to this point. We're now past the midway point of the third period. Here at Printscape Arena, this building's had that name for a few years now. I know when I first started calling Peters Township games in the 2015-16 season, it was still called the Isoplex. Right on goal with this one, so no icing against the Big Macs here. Ringwald pursued by the freshman Grasser. Ringwald wins that race easily. And with the puck, he taps it in behind Gallardini, and in behind the net he has it. Out to Forrester. Fed it beyond his defense partner Ringwald, in behind the net. Mertens leans in to take. Forrester on the soft toss to the corner. Franzik gave it up to Martin. Martin and Mertens and Newpaver. The trio out, dressed in red and white and black. The puck stalled in the corner for a while before Anthony Petrillo skated it to safety. Alex Gallardini has to try again. This time he finds Isbell. Listed as a defenseman on my sheet, but he's playing forward tonight. Ethan Franzik, down to the final few shifts of his high school career. So is Petrillo, who joins him in the corner. Petrillo scored earlier in this game. Franzik had an assist on that goal. That was the power play goal that tied it at 1. Midway through the first period, Petrillo trying to make a pass, centering play. It was off a skate. And it's Kovac who just scored. Now he dropped it back. Malley, one more. Now Kovac, backhand score. It went through Levelarte. He couldn't control it, but it didn't matter. Kovac with the poise and the finish. 6:16 to go. Peters Township has a 4-goal lead for the first time. Kovac to Malley, Levelarte. I think he got a piece, but that left Kovac unguarded at the side of the net for his second goal of the period. 14th of the year. Sure, I'll give Levelarte an assist on that one. Missed shot, and Hilbert hangs on at the side of the net. So Anthony Levelarte came into this game with 3 assists in 8 games played. By my count, he has factored in on 4 of the 6 goals for Peters Township. And PT once again has scored 6 or more. It's been pretty remarkable this season. How many times they've gotten at least a handful. And like I said, they're averaging nearly 5 per game. Tricana on the pull-up move. And he's muscled off the puck by Kovac, who's on hat trick watch now. Battle forward at center. Phillips went spinning down. Kevin Fisher, though, backtracks to take it back. Malley on a 3-man rush, 3-on-3. Left it, looking, and he ended up shooting. I thought he dropped it for Kovac initially. Some sleight of hand from Malley. That was quite impressive. Even fooled the play-by-play man. Malley drags it into his skates. Obviously used that reach on those dekes to great effectiveness. Malley to Kovac coming out of the corner. Kovac, speaking of dekes, had a little around-the-world move there, but could not make anything happen there with Prado. Fisher with under 5 to go in the third. Hoisted in, Morgan nonchalantly back to take it. Poon nearly stole it away. the 5th time Peters Township's gotten to 6 goals on the year. They've got a lot of 5-goal games, too. It's the 10th time they've gotten to 5. Actually, 11. They got to 5 in a 6-5 loss in overtime here against Upper St. Clair last month. So when you score 5 times in the majority of your games, 11 out of 19, that's impressive. The net was off before the shot could be taken by Herb, and he looks up to the heavens, cursing his luck. Porter Herb, a senior, does have a goal on the year. Now I'm just scanning down to see who doesn't have a goal. Levelarte took care of that. Jeremy Poon doesn't have a point yet this season. Junior. Among forwards, Nathan D'Amico, also looking for his first goal. And there is Nathan D'Amico on cue. How do you like that? Handling it back to Prado. His wrister did not get through. Among defensemen, Corbel, Wateska, Fisher. All with a goose egg in the goal category, but that's obviously less rare. Corbel sideswiped by, I believe that was Franzik, and a penalty has been called, I believe, on that hit by Canon Mac. Nope, it's Adam Scarilli who heads off. We've only had 4 penalties in this game, counting that one. Scarilli irritated with the call, but he'll have to sit nonetheless, putting Peters Township on its 3rd power play. Off the draw, the puck squirts over to the near wall and flushed out by O'Donoghue of Canon Mac. But here's Peters Township. Alexander near side, and Maetta's shot was blocked. Alexander gets it back with help from Maetta. Fed it out to Forrester. Now Maetta shooting from the left circle. That didn't get through. Slap shot by Forrester is caught by Morgan, and he keeps. Forrester does have a goal this year. He's got 1. Came here at home a couple of months ago. Scarilli gets a roughing penalty. That is the call. Referees are Haas and Scrates. Forrester with a hammered chance. That clanged off the outside of the goal frame. Ringwald protecting and feeding back against the grain to Caputo. Ringwald dusting it off. Forrester, sharp angle slapper. Boy, he's pumping him on net. Another save by Morgan. Alexander gets in there with the pitchfork. Trying to bale some hay and get that thing out of there, and he does. Maetta again in on this puck. We're into the second half of this power play. Rick Tingle sending out the non-traditional first unit here, if you will. With a 6-2 lead. Maetta, low shot, but on that 5-hole bid, Morgan closed it down. That clear is gloved out of the air by Ringwald, and he hangs on again. Caputo, far side pass. Forrester couldn't take it initially. Now he has it off the side wall. Alexander with a head and shoulders fake, and he dished it right back to Forrester. Fired it right through the slot. Back out to the point. Ringwald with under 2 to go in regulation. Maetta's backhand. Doesn't work out, but Alexander wins the puck right back. That's what power plays are about. Getting to those loose pucks, using the advantage to your advantage in those situations, not just when you have clear possession. To the front of the net, Maetta couldn't get the shot through. Then he was crushed in the chest as Morgan froze it. O'Donoghue, Carson O'Donoghue with a strong play. 1:31 to go in the game. You can safely say that now with Peters Township up 4. Scarilli's out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5. So Peters Township adds 2 more in this third, countering the early Canon Mac goal, and Canon Mac has called timeout. Head coach Matt Lyons trying to savor the final 91 seconds of the season. Well, Canon Mac's year has had a few highlights despite just the 4 victories. And obviously, you highlight those 4 wins. They, in fact, swept Mount Lebo in the season series. There you see it. Congratulations to the Canon Mac seniors. I can read them off right now. Aiden Freund, Zach Wilcox, Ethan Franzik, Adam Scarulli, Carter Zanola, Thomas Laurie, Anthony Petrillo, Dominic Tricana, and James Morgan. Those at least the ones dressed tonight. Like I was saying, they beat Mount Lebo twice here back in October and then there at Mount Lebo in January. They also beat Baldwin on the road, and they defeated North Allegheny 3-2 in overtime here just after Thanksgiving. But that long 6-game losing streak in the middle of the year made it extremely difficult to get back into the playoff chase. And they were officially eliminated last week. Laurie takes it back. Thomas Laurie on the little dish up to Dominic Tricana. Kind of trying to lower the shoulder. Hilbert came way out to help his defenseman Fisher out. Tricana, one of those seniors who's playing his final shift. Laurie ladles it down the wall. Mertens in tight quarters. Does well to keep this puck. Throws on the brakes, flips it up and beyond Laurie as it bounces by him at the point. Morgan way out of his net to snap it up into the atmosphere. And right on target to Tricana. Dropped it. Laurie trying to deke toward the middle. And too many sticks in the way. Phillips went down. Lost control of the puck. Tricana drifts that pass off a stick out to the neutral zone. Franzik across. Scarulli. Martin. Turned it over in the middle on that hopeful pass. Laurie, one last rush maybe for Canon Mac, but it's given up to Kovac. Ahead, Malley in alone, scores! There's the capper for PT. Austin Malley, patient as you like. Waited for Morgan to go down and neatly tucked it into the net in the final 15 seconds of this one. Make it the final 10. Kovac sent it ahead, and Malley from Martin, as it turned out. That was the trio out there. Hey, like a 5-point night for Ben Kovac. 2 goals, 3 assists. Final 5 seconds, bouncing wide of Hilbert. Indians win. Indians win 7-2. They sweep the season set against Canon Mac by the combined score of 14-3, and Peters Township has the lead all by itself once again in Class AAA. Now 2 points up on Seneca Valley and 3 ahead of Central Catholic. The Vikings cannot win the regular season. Seneca Valley still has an outside shot, but Peters Township is in command. And with a point next week against Bethel Park, they will clinch the #1 seed in the Penguins Cup playoffs. Everyone off the bench to shake hands. Austin Malley scores twice. He adds a couple of assists. I mentioned Kovac gets 5 points on the night for Peters Township. Also, Anthony Levelarte, I have him down for 4 points on my score sheet. His first varsity goal and 3 assists, matching his season total prior to this in terms of helpers. Cole Newpaver and Ryder Mertens also scoring for Peters Township. And Nolan Hilbert gets another win, his 7th win against just 2 losses on the season. Goal scorers for Canon Mac tonight: senior Anthony Petrillo and senior Carter Zanola. They go out with a bang, at least in terms of individual offense. And James Morgan picks up the loss, but once again does well in defeat for head coach Matt Lyons of Canon Mac. But for Rick Tingle and the Peters Township Indians, they improved to 15-3-1. And like I said, they'll just need 1 point. They'll just need to get to overtime against Bethel Park next week to lock up another division title and another #1 seed in the Penn's Cup playoffs. We'll have that game for you on 10 Band TV next Tuesday. I'll be on the call one more time in the regular season for Peters Township against Bethel Park. For Canon Mac, that's it. Congrats to all the seniors moving on after this. There you see them, well, some of them shaking hands and getting together, maybe for one final photo on the ice too, as the Big Macs say goodbye to the 2022-23 regular season collectively, and this group of seniors says goodbye to high school hockey in the PIHL once and for all. On that note, time to say goodnight from Printscape Arena. For Todd Kazarowski and his crew for 10 Band TV, I'm MattGajtka saying good night. I'll talk to you next week, next Tuesday, as we put a bow on the regular season with Peters Township and Bethel Park. Talk to you then.